In a frenzy that feels like the opening scene of a Cold War spy thriller, European diplomats and Canadian citizens are doing something unimaginable, tossing their smartphones before flying into the United States. They're switching to burner phones, cheap, disposable devices often associated with drug dealers, undercover agents, and mob bosses. But this isn't fiction. This is the alarming new reality of international travel to America under President Donald Trump's intensified border surveillance policies. And the question on everyone's mind is, what on earth is going on at the U.S. border? A burner phone, for the uninitiated, is a low-cost, prepaid mobile phone. You use it briefly, then discard it, leaving no digital trace behind. These phones have long been associated with secrecy and illicit activities, but now they're being issued by none other than the European Commission. That's right, European Union officials traveling to the United States of America are being told to leave their personal phones behind. In their place, they're handed burner phones, stripped-down laptops, and even anti-surveillance sleeves to protect their devices from prying eyes. What once applied to missions in Moscow or trips to Beijing now applies to Washington, D.C. The U.S., which once prided itself on freedom, is suddenly lumped into the same surveillance-hungry category as its authoritarian rivals. This move by the European Union is nothing short of stunning, and it speaks volumes about a widening rift in trust. And it's not just European diplomats taking cover. Ordinary Canadian citizens, lawyers, academics, and even tech workers are now being told to travel smart by leaving their smartphones at home. Immigration lawyers in Canada are urgently recommending the use of U.S. preclearance at Canadian airports, so you get grilled by U.S. agents before even stepping on American soil, all in hopes of avoiding the digital dragnet that awaits at the border. So what sparked this wave of digital paranoia? The answer lies in President Trump's newly intensified border policies. Under his administration, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has been emboldened to inspect travelers' electronic devices with unprecedented aggressiveness. Mobile phones are being scanned, emails sifted through, and social media posts scrutinized. And if officials don't like what they find, travelers are detained. Sometimes they're sent back. One chilling example made international headlines. A French scientist, invited to speak at a conference in the U.S., was interrogated at the border. His crime? Voicing criticism of Trump's anti-science policies online. He was denied entry. No criminal record, no visa violation, just the wrong opinion on the wrong platform. This new reality has sparked outrage and disbelief across Europe and beyond. The European Commission's advisory didn't emerge in a vacuum. It's a direct response to what many are now calling America's digital authoritarianism. One European diplomat reportedly told colleagues to treat the U.S. like they would treat China, a remark that encapsulated just how far the U.S. global image had fallen. But Trump's motivations are no mystery. His administration has framed these tactics as essential tools in the war against illegal immigration and terrorism. By ramping up border checks and digital surveillance, Trump says he's protecting the homeland, but critics argue he's weaponizing immigration law to silence dissent and intimidate critics. And the backlash has been fierce. Across Europe, leaders are quietly reassessing their alliance with the United States. What does it mean to be partners in democracy if one side no longer upholds the values it once preached? In Canada, legal experts and civil rights groups are sounding the alarm, warning that citizens' rights are being trampled the moment they cross the U.S. border. Even more troubling is how legally bulletproof these actions are. U.S. border officials don't need a warrant to search your phone. They can demand your passcode, they can clone your device's data, and if you refuse, they can deny you entry. These powers, originally expanded after the 9/11 attacks, have only grown with time. Under Trump, they've reached a fever pitch. And yet, despite the protests and advisories, the U.S. shows no signs of slowing down. For many observers, this is the point of no return. Has America become the very thing it once fought against? Can a nation still claim to champion freedom when it treats peaceful visitors like enemies of the state? From the White House, the Trump administration defends its stance as one of national security. Officials argue that bad actors hide behind smartphones and that inspecting them is a small price to pay for safety. But from the European and Canadian perspective, this isn't about security. It's about control. They see it as a betrayal, a violation of the unspoken code among democratic allies. And what about the rest of the world? Nations across Latin America, Asia, and Africa are watching this unfold with a mix of concern and validation. For years, the US has criticized other countries for surveillance and repression. Now those same nations are asking, what makes America any different? The implications are massive. If allies no longer trust America with basic privacy, what does that mean for intelligence sharing, trade negotiations, and diplomatic coordination? Will foreign tech companies now avoid expanding into the US market out of fear of espionage? Will academics and researchers think twice before accepting a US invitation? The chilling effect is already in motion. Meanwhile, Americans themselves face an uncomfortable reckoning. If this is how their government treats guests, how long before similar tactics are used more broadly at home? The border may be the front line, but what happens when the walls start closing in within? As burner phones become the new passport to America, and allies begin to treat the US like a surveillance state, the world watches in stunned silence. This isn't just about gadgets or privacy. It's about trust, democracy, and the shifting sands of global power. And as Trump doubles down, one wonders, what will it take to turn this around? Or is it already too late? Your perspective matters. What do you make of Europeans and Canadians ditching their smartphones for burners due to Trump's tightened border regulations? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments section below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Current Affairs channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our informative future videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for watching.